Many souls slip into bed each night unaware that the unseen world does not sleep. They think night is only for rest, but in truth, it is also a sacred battlefield where vibrations of light and darkness collide. Bodies may lie still, yet spirits wander, meeting forces that either nourish or drain them. The tossing, the restless dreams, the sudden fears at midnight are not random. They are signs of spiritual currents brushing against human lives. In many traditions from the east to the west, night has always been called the hour of hidden doors. Taoist sages spoke of Yin time as the interval when the invisible breath of the world is most active. Vedic seers taught that dreams are a rehearsal for the soul's journey, and even the early mystics of the desert warned that the hours before dawn belong to watchers. These truths converge. What you do before you sleep shapes what happens while you sleep. Because while the body rests, the energy field, your subtle self, remains open. It receives impressions, vibrations, and signals. Fear, resentment, and unresolved worry can act like cracks in your aura, allowing lower frequencies to enter. This is why some people wake up tired, finances leaking, joy fading, and can't explain why. They are fighting invisible battles without armor. Witchcraft meetings, dark projections, and monitoring spirits, these are ancient names for what modern energy workers call parasitic vibrations. They roam like data collectors in the night, seeking unguarded minds and open atmospheres. They do not need a door with hinges, they need a door made of fear, guilt, or unprotected energy. But divine wisdom never leaves a seeker defenseless. From African households sprinkling salt at thresholds to Himalayan yogis placing water bowls near their mats, cultures have preserved small acts that shift the night field. These are not superstitions but symbolic technologies. The night belongs to you when you claim it with intention. The ritual you are about to learn is not a spell but a prophetic alignment of elements, water, salt, honey, cloves, and bay leaves, that carry natural and spiritual codes. Each ingredient speaks a language in the invisible world, reminding your atmosphere who you are and whose protection surrounds you. Tonight, before you close your eyes, you will prepare a simple yet powerful act that changes the frequency of your room. It cleanses, seals, and sweetens. It declares, this house is not a playground for darkness. My spirit is under light. When you set this beside your bed, you are not practicing magic, you are practicing awareness. You are aligning with the universal law that says energy flows where intention goes. And intention spoken aloud becomes vibration, and vibration shapes reality. As you adopt this, you will notice nightmares fading, peace returning, and your destiny no longer delayed. When the night deepens and silence blankets the earth, another realm awakens. This is the unseen theater where destinies are written, exchanged, or stolen. Between midnight and 3 o'clock, the veil between the physical and spiritual thins. Ancient monks called it the blue hour, when spirits whisper and light seeks entry. Yet for many, this sacred interval becomes a time of invasion. Monitoring spirits, energies of distortion, scan through vibrations, searching for unguarded souls. They cannot touch what is protected, but they can observe what is careless. And observation is the first form of control. Understand this, energy follows attention. When dark energies study you, they drain your field by mere focus. They mimic, they mirror, they wait. They record your fears and send them back amplified. That is why anxiety can strike at night without reason, because unseen frequencies are replaying your own emotions against you. But the wise do not fear this. They recognize that just as darkness observes, light also watches. Heaven's gaze never sleeps. What determines who reaches you is the vibration you emit before rest. Every thought, every emotion before sleep, writes a code into your energy field. If your last vibration is anger, you sleep within a storm. If your last vibration is peace, you rest inside a temple. That is why masters of many traditions, Shaolin monks, Sufi mystics, Buddhist bhikkhus, end the day with purification. They do not let the sun set upon unguarded emotion. They cleanse the body and the space, not as ritual superstition, but as energy science. Because the spirit world does not respect ignorance, it responds only to awareness. So when you drop the prophetic mixture beside your bed, water, salt, honey, cloves, and bay leaf, you are not doing magic, you are adjusting frequencies. You are declaring dominion over your night. Water stands as the mirror of your soul, absorbing spiritual static. Salt becomes the firewall, sealing old covenants and forming an electromagnetic barrier that no curse can penetrate. Honey restores the flow of sweetness, magnetizing prosperity and peace back to your life. Cloves burn with sacred fire, consuming intrusive vibrations. And the bay leaf, ancient crown of victory, seals your decree, my night belongs to the light. As you place it down, imagine a golden ring expanding from the glass, widening until it fills the entire room. Feel the stillness thicken, the temperature soften, the air hum with a low frequency of peace. That is not imagination, that is resonance. You are tuning your home to the vibration of divine protection. Many have asked, why does such a simple act work? Because the universe listens to symbolism. Symbols are the oldest language of creation. Before there were words, there were patterns. Before prayers, there was vibration. When you act with sacred intent, the unseen recognizes the signal. You are saying to every dark force, this space is claimed by light. And the response from the higher realm is immediate. The watchers lose their sight, the arrows lose direction, and peace descends like soft rain over your spirit. Now that you understand the sacred logic behind this act, prepare yourself not only to perform it but to embody it. Before you touch a single ingredient, still your mind. Silence is the first gate of power. Take 3 deep breaths, each one deeper than the last, and imagine exhaling all fragments of fear, anger, or anxiety that have clung to you during the day. Feel your chest loosen, your shoulders drop, and your heartbeat synchronize with the quiet rhythm of the room. In this moment, you are no longer a body preparing a ritual. You are a spirit awakening to authority. Begin with water, the first creation's witness. In every faith, water represents the beginning of order from chaos. In energy work, it is memory in motion, it records intention. When you pour the water into a glass, imagine it absorbing divine light, forming a mirror that reflects purity. Whisper softly, let this water carry the vibration of clarity through my home tonight. Remember, water listens. Modern scientists studying molecular resonance discovered that water changes its geometric form based on spoken words. When you speak faith, the molecules arrange themselves into symmetry, perfect hexagons of harmony. You are not just filling a glass, you are composing a symphony of protection. Now take the salt. Ancient covenants used salt because it cannot rot or decay, it endures. Spiritually, salt remembers light. Its crystalline body carries the vibration of preservation. As you drop a pinch into the water, imagine those crystals igniting like stars, expanding into invisible shields around your home. Say in your heart, let every shadow lose its way before my door. In that moment, the frequencies of corruption dissolve. No evil watcher can align with the purity of preserved vibration. Next comes honey, the essence of divine sweetness. In the language of energy, sweetness means alignment, when all forces work in harmony instead of conflict. Drizzle a few drops and say, let every bitterness in my path transform into blessing. The water now holds both cleansing and sweetness, yin and yang, justice and mercy. Together, they form perfect equilibrium. This is the vibration of restoration. It tells your environment, no more imbalance, no more loss. Only harmony may dwell here. Drop in 3 cloves, ancient fire keepers. Their scent does not merely perfume the air, it burns through spiritual pollution. As they touch the water, envision sparks of invisible flame leaping outward, tracing unseen symbols of defense. Declare, every monitoring spirit loses its vision now. My life is hidden under divine fire. These words echo beyond sound, they vibrate across dimensions, cutting cords that once tethered you to surveillance energy. Finally, hold the bay leaf. This is the seal of kings, the crown of triumph. Write your name in your mind's eye upon it, clear, bold, eternal. Speak your desires into it, peace, health, restoration, abundance. Then say, this decree stands under heaven's authority. Place it gently in the glass. The water ripples once, acknowledging your command. You have just created a living covenant between your soul and the divine current of light. Now, stir the mixture slowly, 3 gentle circles clockwise, the motion of creation itself. Each rotation symbolizes the union of body, mind, and spirit aligning under divine command. As the ingredients blend, imagine golden spirals forming inside the glass, expanding outward like halos. Whisper, let this light surround me as I sleep. Let every vibration of fear, delay, or poverty dissolve in this current of divine harmony. Your words are not mere speech, they are energy signatures that stamp your atmosphere with new instruction. Place the glass beside your bed, near where your head rests. The position matters, it anchors protection where your spirit hovers during sleep. Keep it uncovered, open water is a breathing instrument in the unseen. It absorbs discordant frequencies and neutralizes them. As you settle under your blanket, recognize that this glass is no longer ordinary, it has become a sentient ally in the unseen war. The salt fortifies, the honey blesses, the cloves burn, and the bay leaf seals. Together, they create a field of coherent vibration so luminous that darkness cannot remain. This is what ancient mystics called the silent guard. It requires no chanting, no elaborate tools, only awareness. As you close your eyes, the air itself becomes charged. You may sense warmth spreading around your body or a soft hum like the rhythm of distant waves. That is the resonance of alignment, the sound of your spirit entering divine frequency. In that state, you are not defenseless, you are luminous. The moment you drift into sleep, your spirit begins its nightly pilgrimage. It travels into subtle dimensions, receives visions, and restores fragments of energy lost through the day. But now, shielded by your ritual, those realms open safely. Where once dark watchers stood, now angelic sentinels patrol. Where once fear whispered, now guidance flows. Dreams begin to shift, from confusion to clarity, from nightmares to messages. You may see chains breaking, floods of water washing away debris, or radiant figures standing guard. These are not random, they are confirmations that your frequency has changed. In the unseen, your act has already spoken. Energies that once fed on anxiety are starved. Spirits that monitored you find their signals jammed. Evil arrows return to sender, neutralized by the purity of salt and water. Even ancestral covenants that echoed through bloodlines start to lose their grip because vibration obeys renewal. This is the principle taught in both scripture and science: energy cannot be destroyed but it can be transmuted. Tonight, you are transmuting fear into light. Before sleep claims you completely, place your hand over your heart and affirm softly: I rest under the covenant of peace. My name vibrates with divine favor. My dreams are guarded. My wealth and destiny are sealed in light. These final words are the password of your night. They open no door to darkness, only to revelation. Sleep now, not as one who hides from battle, but as one who reigns through awareness. The night no longer hunts you, it now serves you. When dawn begins to whisper through your window, do not rush to your phone, nor to the noise of the world. Pause first in stillness. The ritual that guarded you through the night has completed its assignment. The glass beside your bed is no longer filled with neutral water, it has absorbed frequencies, whispers, and projections meant to harm or delay you. It is now a vessel of transmutation, a mirror that has captured the shadows before they reached your soul. Rise gently and take the glass in both hands. Step outside your home if possible, or to a sink where the water can flow freely. As you pour it out, say aloud: Every arrow sent against me is returned to its sender. Every dark vibration absorbed in this water is dissolved by light. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. When the water leaves the glass, visualize streams of gray energy flushing away, vanishing into the earth's cleansing current. You are not just discarding liquid, you are releasing weight. The act is symbolic of surrender, letting the universe recycle negative energy into neutral elements. As you rinse the glass and whisper gratitude, you affirm that protection has done its work. The atmosphere around you begins to feel lighter, clearer, charged with gentle peace. This is not imagination, it is resonance measurable by your emotions. The heaviness you once felt upon waking is gone because spiritual toxins have been filtered from your space. Many people underestimate the energetic memory of a room. Just as a sponge holds water, walls and air hold vibrations. Arguments, fears, and even silent worries linger like dust. The nightly ritual resets that field. When you clear the water each morning, you are pressing a divine refresh button. You are declaring to the unseen, this space vibrates at the frequency of peace and abundance. Over time, your home itself becomes a sanctuary, a place where thoughts calm faster, where sleep deepens, and where ideas arrive like whispers of inspiration. In the teachings of Zen, they say, when the environment is pure, the mind becomes mirror-like. This is not philosophy, it is energy truth. As the environment's vibration rises, your intuition sharpens. You begin to hear divine guidance more clearly. Decisions that once felt clouded now appear obvious. Opportunities that were invisible start revealing themselves because your frequency matches them again. Do not keep this act as a one-night experiment. It is a spiritual discipline, simple, profound, continuous. Each repetition strengthens your aura, layers of protection growing like rings in a tree. The more consistent your intention, the thicker the shield. Just as meditation deepens with practice, so too does this prophetic act grow in potency. By performing it nightly, you are not depending on objects, you are training your subconscious to dwell in peace. The water, salt, honey, cloves, and bay leaf are teachers reminding your spirit how to command energy consciously. Through them, you remember what ancient masters knew: light does not fight darkness, it simply shines, and darkness flees. As the days pass and you remain faithful to this act, something extraordinary begins to unfold, not outside you, but within. The first transformation happens in your energy body. What once felt heavy or chaotic starts to harmonize. You begin waking with calm clarity, as if your very cells are humming in tune with divine rhythm. This is the science of vibration at work. When the spiritual field is balanced, the physical follows. Your body heals faster. Your emotions stabilize. Even your finances begin to mirror that inner alignment, because prosperity flows along the paths of peace. Many spiritual teachers call this state energetic sovereignty. It means you no longer live as a passive receiver of forces, you become the governor of your own atmosphere. Each night, as you prepare your mixture, you are declaring mastery over your unseen environment. It is not the ingredients that hold the miracle, it is the awareness they awaken in you. You begin to understand that energy obeys consciousness. Fear weakens, faith commands. The moment you stand in alignment, every lower vibration loses its authority. In this awareness, you also start to recognize how monitoring spirits truly operate. They are not monsters lurking in shadows but frequencies of distraction, old thought forms, ancestral imprints, or collective vibrations that feed on human anxiety. They survive only where chaos reigns. When you emit coherence, peace, gratitude, divine focus, they suffocate. Your home becomes an environment hostile to their existence. That is why after a few nights of this practice, people often report sleeping deeply, dreaming vividly, and waking with a strange sense of lightness. The watchers are gone because their signal cannot penetrate harmony. During your rest, the ritual continues its silent ministry. The salt absorbs interference, the honey restores sweetness to your aura, the cloves release purifying fire that dismantles energetic webs, the bay leaf emits a frequency of triumph that keeps you aligned with answered prayer. These are not separate elements, they are frequencies collaborating in symphony. Even water, that humble servant of creation, becomes your intermediary. It collects every vibration in your room and carries it into the earth each morning, recycling darkness into light. And when your environment stabilizes, your outer world begins to shift. Delayed promotions surface. Forgotten debts return. Relationships soften. Opportunities once invisible start approaching. This is not coincidence, it is magnetic law. The law of resonance says like attracts like. When you vibrate with gratitude and authority, life mirrors it back through open doors and divine connections. Each night before you perform the act, pause for one more moment of awareness. Place your right hand over your heart and say, I am the keeper of my night. I do not fear the unseen, for I am one with the light that never sleeps. Let these words settle deep. Feel their pulse align with your heartbeat. You are not begging for protection, you are activating it. Heaven recognizes such authority instantly. As your nights become sanctuaries of light, you'll begin to notice a deeper shift. Your dreams will start speaking back to you. Where once you saw confusion, now you see symbols. Where once there were nightmares, now there are instructions, visions, and confirmations. This is the realm of revelatory sleep that sages of many traditions speak of. In the Vedic texts it is called Swapna Yoga, the yoga of dreams. In the early Christian mystic writings it was called night watches of the spirit. In every language, the truth remains the same: when your energy field is protected, the higher realm can communicate freely without interference. This is why so many who practice this simple act report waking up from dreams of chains breaking, of light flooding their houses, of lost items being returned, of walking through open gates. These are not coincidences, they are prophetic confirmations that the unseen has shifted in your favor. The ritual acts as a signal to heaven: this child is ready for alignment. Angels of provision, protection, and restoration begin to flow toward you. The frequency of your name changes. In the unseen, it glows instead of being dimmed. Where it was once whispered at dark altars, it is now announced at altars of light. The watchers, the monitoring spirits, the parasitic vibrations, hate this because it blinds them. Imagine a spy peering through a clear window. The moment you draw a radiant curtain across, their view ends. That is exactly what happens spiritually. Where they once saw your finances, your relationships, your plans, now they see only light. Their signals jam. Their reports scatter. Their arrows boomerang back. You become spiritually invisible to harm yet magnetically visible to favor. At the same time, your home begins to feel different. The air softens, silence feels rich rather than empty, and even your breath deepens at night. These are subtle but real signs of angelic presence. Heaven is no longer only looking down on you, it is stationed around you. What was once a battlefield becomes a temple of restoration and wealth magnetism. Even your mornings feel different, you rise with ideas, inspiration, and a new boldness. This is the great mystery: simple prophetic acts unlock complex blockages. They turn your ordinary room into an altar of transformation. They transform you from a passive sleeper into a conscious ruler of your atmosphere. Each night you do this, you are rehearsing sovereignty, training your subconscious to expect safety, abundance, and clarity. As that expectation becomes your new vibration, reality rearranges itself to match. Before sleep, as you hold the glass in your hands and feel its cool weight, say once more: My night is holy. My name is guarded. My destiny flows back to me. I walk in favor, and I sleep under wings of light. Feel the truth of it vibrate through your palms, your chest, your entire aura. This is not imagination, it is activation. From this point forward, every night you perform this act you are layering light upon light, creating what mystics call a fortress of frequency. This fortress is not built of stone but of vibration. Each grain of salt, each drop of honey, each clove and bay leaf adds another filament of energy around you, weaving a lattice that the unseen world recognizes as impenetrable. In time, the ritual ceases to be something you do and becomes something you are. You walk into rooms carrying that same protective frequency, you notice people respond to you differently, doors open faster, and conversations shift in your favor because your field has changed. This is the hidden power of small, consistent acts. The universe reads repetition as commitment. Commitment magnifies vibration. When you faithfully perform this prophetic act, you are essentially training your subconscious to hold the posture of victory at all times. Even on nights when you are too tired to think, the habit will anchor you. Your hands will move, and your spirit will align automatically, like a martial artist whose muscles remember the form. That is the Shaolin secret: practice until the act becomes a state of being. And as you live inside this state, you will begin to discern more quickly what belongs to you and what does not. Financial leaks, sudden conflicts, unexplained heaviness, these will feel foreign because your inner atmosphere no longer resonates with them. You will instinctively know when to say no, where to go, who to trust. Your dreams will offer not only protection but instruction, ideas for business, insight into relationships, even warnings of future traps. This is how divine wisdom speaks when the channel is clear. Never forget, though, that the objects themselves are only symbols. Without faith, they are just water and spices. With intention, they become instruments of light. This is why some people see immediate results, because they engage with full belief, and others see slower change because they treat it as superstition. The spiritual world responds not to superstition but to alignment. Alignment is when your thought, word, and action point in the same direction. So when you prepare your glass tonight, do it slowly, reverently. Whisper gratitude for the elements. Visualize a golden canopy spreading over your roof, your windows, your doors, and your bed. Picture angels standing at each corner of your house, swords of light drawn. Feel your heartbeat settle into trust. This is not fantasy, it is the creative power of imagination, which the sages call the womb of reality. Finally, remember to share this knowledge. Somewhere, someone is crying in silence, feeling attacked at night and thinking they are cursed or unlucky. They may be hard workers, kind people, yet living under invisible observation. By telling them what you now know, you become a messenger of light, breaking the chain of ignorance. Every night you return to this practice, you are not only fortifying your personal atmosphere but also re-educating your spirit to live in constant awareness. This is the hidden lesson behind all prophetic acts: they are training exercises for sovereignty. Each time you lift that glass, whisper your affirmations, and place it beside your bed, you remind your inner world that you are not a victim of unseen forces, you are a carrier of divine authority. Over time, this remembrance transforms your identity. You stop thinking of yourself as someone under attack and start thinking of yourself as someone who governs their space. This inner shift begins to ripple outward. It shows up in your posture, your words, your decisions. Opportunities that once slipped away begin to land. People who once overlooked you begin to notice. You radiate a calm confidence that makes chaos scatter. This is because your vibration is no longer fragmented. It's coherent, like a laser. And coherent energy always creates form in the physical world: health, wealth, favor, and clarity. In spiritual language, you have moved from reaction to command. In vibration science, you have shifted from low-frequency scatter to high-frequency coherence. And in everyday life, you have gone from restless nights to restful empowerment. Even the simplest details begin to change. You wake up earlier without effort, you feel inspired to act on ideas, you sense exactly when to move and when to wait. This is discernment in action, God's quiet voice reaching you because your night hours are no longer cluttered with noise. This is also why your dreams now carry a different weight. In them, you may find instructions for your business, warnings about relationships, visions of doors opening. Treat them with respect, write them down when you wake. They are no longer random, they are messages delivered through a protected channel. The glass by your bed is not magic, it is a symbolic transmitter, keeping the line clear between you and divine intelligence. And as your nights become cleaner, your days become brighter. The heaviness you once carried lifts, and your life begins to feel like it's moving forward again. Even ancestral blockages, old family patterns of loss, delay, or sabotage, start to unravel because vibration obeys authority, and you are now operating in authority. Always remember, however, that consistency is the key. Just as exercise shapes the body only through repetition, spiritual discipline shapes your atmosphere only through daily practice. Each night is another layer of light, another strand in your protective lattice. Do not be discouraged if some nights feel ordinary, the unseen shifts long before the visible catches up. There will come a night when you realize you no longer need the glass by your bed, because the ritual has already rewritten your atmosphere. By then, you will have shifted from practicing protection to embodying protection. Your words will carry authority without effort. You will speak and feel the room change. You will enter places and sense atmospheres bending toward peace and favor. This is the sign that your spirit has absorbed the lesson of the act and now radiates it outward, like a lamp that no longer needs to be plugged in because it has become its own source of power. From this moment, your bed ceases to be a place of vulnerability. It becomes a throne of restoration, revelation, and alignment. Each night is no longer an unconscious drift but a conscious appointment with the divine. Every drop of water you once poured, every grain of salt you once sprinkled, every clove and bay leaf you once placed was a teacher showing you that ordinary elements carry extraordinary vibration when met with faith and intention. You have walked through a hidden door that countless traditions have guarded for centuries, the knowledge that night is not just the absence of light but a spiritual portal of renewal. Now, as you lay your head down tonight, whisper this one final affirmation. I no longer sleep as one under threat. I sleep as one enthroned in light. My name is sealed, my destiny restored, my wealth aligned. My home radiates peace, and every corner of my night vibrates with divine fire. Feel the words ripple through your chest, down your arms, into your hands. Imagine them lighting up the room with soft gold. This is not a hope, it is a command. Heaven responds to commands spoken in faith faster than it does to fear or begging. Your words, your intention, and your ritual have already moved forces in the unseen on your behalf. And do not keep this revelation locked inside. Share it with those you sense are under invisible attack. Not as superstition but as empowerment. Teach them how water, salt, honey, cloves, and bay leaves can be used as instruments of light, not because the objects are powerful but because faith transforms symbols into weapons of peace. By sharing, you multiply the light. By multiplying the light, you weaken the darkness. When you finish your prayer tonight, smile softly. Gratitude is the seal of victory. Sleep knowing that every arrow aimed at you has already fallen, every delay dissolved, every chain broken. You are not just covered, you are chosen. You are not just protected, you are aligned. The night is now your ally, your teacher, your holy appointment with restoration.